and welcome back. We're here live for Q2 from round 3 of the FIA World Rallycross Championships in the beautiful Belgian town of Spa, and of course one of the most historic, iconic, famous racetracks, Spa-Francorchamps, which includes of course that infamous corner, must be in the top 10 list for all the drivers, mustn't it? The Eau Rouge. And indeed, throughout its 100-year history, this is the first day that this historic track has opened its doors to World Rallycross and given these world drivers right here the chance to race on its track for the very first time and to familiarise themselves as well with what is a technical and short circuit, indeed one of the only tracks which has gravel just off the start, one of only 2 in the world. Andreas Bakkerud then this morning, he is at the moment sitting TQ. He beat off Anton Markland for that one. We're going to try and grab a quick chat with him now if we can. He's just over here, as you can see. Very importantly to realise, the grids here are reversed for our Q2 here. So our fastest guys are going to be going off first. It's a brand new track. It's the first time we've seen it race, so we're not sure how that track is going to evolve, but we are going to grab a quick chat with Andreas Bakkerud if we can, who of course is at the moment sitting TQ. Andreas, TQ, how does that sound?
What did you say one more time?
It's noisy out here. How does it sound to you sitting top qualifier at the moment?
It feels very good. First qualifying we win this year, and yeah, I mean the track is so cool. It's nice to be here in Belgium. I do think we need more speed if we want to keep the momentum up, but hopefully we can go a bit harder this time.
And we're talking about the track as well. How do you think it will evolve? We had a massive downpour of rain in between Q1 and Q2, but we don't know what's going to happen here. Brand new track.
Yeah, right now it's quite windy outside. It's not raining. The sun is barely getting through the clouds. So I do expect to see track evolution. How much is hard to say, but some, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Best of luck to you. So there you go, TQ, Andreas Bakkerud. He's ready to go, sitting at the top of the bunch at the moment, and he will be off first as well. I'll hand you now to the very capable hands of our commentators, Dan Rook and first Andrew Coley.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, interesting, Dan. This session is flipped. Andreas is talking about track evolution, but we don't really know how it's going to evolve. You know, he says it's windy and he's thinking there it's going to dry. For me, it's more about the gravel sections.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen them now, like, kind of resurface the track, if you like. They've pushed all of the loose stuff back in, filled in all the ruts, rolled it, and that loose surface is now going to quickly dig out. So is it going to be faster for the guys at front without the ruts? Is it going to be fast for the guys at the end of the day with the ruts to drag them around the corners? So
we just don't know. We really don't know. And the track developed a lot during Q1. If you missed that earlier on today, then we're going to take a quick look back at the action from it, and that'll give you a clue as to what's going to happen in Q2, which is coming up very soon. Then here at Spa-Francorchamps, it was Sabo who got off the line the best. Francois Duval, though, giving the home fans something to cheer about, managed to get on the inside of Chicherit despite the door coming open. Sabo out front, Chicherit had a little bit of a spin, pushed round by Baumann. It's not Baumann' fault. There's that banked gravel corner, absolutely fantastic. Checkered flag for Sabo with a decent time. On to race 2, Timo Scheider with an absolute rocket of a start. Jonny Wiemann slotting in behind. You're on board there with Guillaume de Ridder, also racing at home, saying it's a dream come true to race here at Spa-Francorchamps. He had a look up the inside on the run up the hill. Couldn't quite get past Anton Markland in front of him. Markland, with some very clever tactics, got out front, and at that point he was quickest. Scheider just holding off Wiemann. Timozyanov, you're on board with the Russian on the line, didn't get a best start. Bakkerud, you can see outside him, was ahead, and so was Ollie Bennett at this point. There's a little bit of contact with Bennett now, and that's what holds Timmer on line. There it is from the outside. So Bakkerud leading from Timmer on the run up to the top of the hill. This was the joker at the end of the lap. Andreas Bakkerud into the inside. Timozyanov had some sort of an issue which cost him time on the last lap. In fact, he only just got the car over the line before it came to a halt. You'll look in the background now and you see the Hyundai suddenly slows down. Andreas Bakkerud took the flag and at that point was fastest, but there was one race still to come. There's Timmer's car stranded in the middle of the track. Timmy Hansen firing himself up. Peugeot had won every single qualifying session so far this year, and with both the brothers in this one, were they on for it? Doran and Ekstrom, of course, the 2016 world champion, back in the red Audi this weekend. Look at this. This is the alternative lines on the dirt corner. Doran round out wide. He then got on the undercut underneath Timmy Hansen. This was Kevin Hansen coming in front of Matthias Ekstrom. But come the end of the race, how close it was there. Hansen right out to the wall. These guys have been battling just a little too much. So whilst Timmy Hansen took the checkered flag, it was not as fast as the time of Andreas Bakkerud from the previous race. So Bakkerud takes Q1 from Anton Markland, Christian Sabo, Timo Scheider, Johnny Wieman, Timmy Hansen, Liam Doran, Timo Jan of the top 8. Ekstrom P9, Kevin Hansen 10th, Duval is 11th, and then Cyril Raymond in 12th place. So everybody else with some work to do if they want to make it through to those all-important semi-finals. So good stuff from Q1, particularly Dan, the bank corner. You know, Liam, I thought he'd made a mistake, but in fact he used that line again on the second lap to good effect, straight exit. Yeah, exactly. He got the rotation in early, came in really wide, but then was able to take a late apex, and he already at that point had the car facing straight. So he basically had, you know, an extra, I don't know, couple meters of straight out of the corner because he was, you know, that far out to cut himself back in. So much speed coming off the corner. Two people I think might have been quicker as well would have been Timo Janov, of course, with that issue, and Anton Markland, who got caught up in traffic. So all to play for in Q2. Fastest guys are first. Let's get down to the grid and have a look. Right then, Q2, reversed grids. Remember, that's new for this year, meaning the fastest guys are going first. It's a randomised selector, so they might have gone last like they normally do, but on this occasion, they go first, and we'll be doing the same for Q3 in the morning as well. So Andreas Bakkerud on the inside, Markland, Sabo, Scheider, and Johnny Wieman. As you can see, those guys are the top 5. Great job by Wieman in the Hyundai. Hyundai's been looking mega over the bumps. Markland has got an update to the dampers on his car, which he says is a big step in the right direction. Bakkerud, interestingly, running a mask off some of the front of the car there. Ready to race light goes out. Green. Sabo with a bit of wheel spin. Markland, though, with way more wheel spin. Moves across, shuts the door. Markland drops down to P5. Bakkerud's going to be third at the best. Wieman's trying to go around the outside of Scheider, just avoids the wall. Sabo's going to get the run of Wieman shortly up the hill. Wieman shuts the door sideways for Sabo. Holds on to it, though. And it is Scheider who's got whole shot on the handbrake. Bakkerud's keeping it tidy in the background, but he has lost out big time at the start. Yeah, not a good start there from Andreas. Obviously in the box seat, having pole position for the inside line here of that gravel corner, but just not able to hook it up off the line. He's gone into the Joker now straight away. So Bakkerud goes Joker immediately. Look at Wieman, rotates the car earlier than Scheider. Scheider on the exit now, understeer, then oversteer, sideways for all three of these guys. But Andreas Bakkerud has gone Joker on lap 1, and he's already onto the back of Markland. So ideally he wants Markland out of the way now if he feels he's quicker. You see Wieman go through Eau Rouge and up towards Radelon, and then they're going to do the hairpin left. Scheider's having to use a lot of handbrake. I mean, everybody seems to be using handbrake in there, Dan. Maybe not drivable in these wet conditions. You can't just use the steering lock. No, so obviously limited grip now. The surface is damp. We had a bit of a downpour between Q1 and Q2, so the track is still very wet. Bakkerud, who's jokered, look, he's in P3 on the outside standard lap. Sabo and Markland on the inside are trying to cover him off, but Bakkerud has made the right decision and has absolutely smashed it in that one. So Bakkerud, with a killer lap time, is ahead of both Sabo and Markland at this point. Those three have all jokered. Dan, how are the lap times looking? So Andreas there having a bit of a clean lap, has actually gone 6 tenths faster than Timo Scheider ahead of him as well, so really bringing down the gap. Scheider's going to go Joker on lap 3, so the race leader goes now. So his spotters have been looking at the timing screens like we have. They can see Bakkerud's quicker, so Scheider has gone Joker before the end of the race to try and hold off Bakkerud around the outside. Wieman should take the lead here, but Scheider straightens the Abietha up, and he will come out in front of Bakkerud. Great tactics. Yeah, superb job there from Scheider's team, realising Andreas had the speed and they had to get Scheider in whilst he had the gap. Yeah, very clever indeed. Normally when you're leading you would wait until the last lap to Joker. Yeah, that's the ideal time because you then maximise the amount of free air you have now, because obviously Scheider now is in the dirt spray from Wieman, but that's not going to last as Wieman now goes into the Joker lap. So Wieman into the Joker. Scheider went on lap 3 to protect that lead from Andreas Bakkerud. Sabo's up underneath Bakkerud. Wieman on the inside, rotates the Hyundai round. I think he might have done enough. Johnny Wieman on the gas towards the line. Scheider comes around the outside and Wieman holds on with the Joker on lap 4 to take the win. 2:28.1. So that would have seen him 8th in Q1. So Dan, is the track slower maybe than Q1? Yeah, potentially. Obviously, we've not seen it without the ruts that we had, because we had the ruts following on from practice for Q1. So yeah, completely new to everybody here. Yet to see then if it will be quicker. Here's the result of Q2 race 1. Wieman takes it from Scheider, Bakkerud, Sabo and Markland. Remember, Bakkerud won the first session and looked very quick here. but Weeman's time considerably slower than they were in Q1. So track conditions are definitely very different than they were around an hour and a half ago. So this is off the start. Markland, look, you can see spinning the tyres up.
Yeah, Markland with a lot of wheel spin going backwards, but Weeman on the outside getting a really good start along with Scheider, but just couldn't get it tucked in. He had nowhere for him to go and nearly in the wall there.
He did really well. Great racecraft there to avoid having the Hyundai's nose stuffed into the wall. Markland, I saw literally 10 minutes ago, just before he was getting in the car, and he said he wasn't happy with his start in Q1, so he's obviously gone maybe higher on the RPM and it hasn't paid off.
Yeah, of course, and we know GCK boys with that Renault Megane there really putting a lot of development into their starts, and sometimes they nail it, sometimes not quite, so maybe on this occasion not their best run.
He likes driving in the wet, he said that. This was Scheider and Weeman, and this was the point, of course, that they were getting the call to say, look, you need to joker now, go a lap early. Bakkerud's taken 6/10 off you on lap 2. So great tactics, and that joker very similar to what I said to Timmy Hansen. Stop the car, rotate it and accelerate straight.
Yeah, so the joker lap here is so tight, it's not like the standard lap where you can really hang it sideways. You've got to come in, stop the car, rotate it, get your wheels facing straight, and then you can really maximise your acceleration towards the finish line.
Well, Joni, that was a brilliant race we've just seen there. Really tactical, and you waited till the last to take your joker.
Yeah, you know, I'm really happy. This is only my second race in 2.5 years. When I saw Timo took the joker, I knew I had to give it everything I got, and it was enough this time. So super happy, and the track is really, really nice.
Well, a win in the fastest race on paper so far. Well done to you.
Weeman happy with that result, and rightly so. I say, hasn't had much seat time at all. Lap times wise, he was about a half second off the quickest laps of Bakkerud and Sabo. So the Audi looking very good, but Weeman got his tactics right. On board with Timmy Hansen. See him through the nets there. Those nets are new for this year. You can see the Speed Machine logos there as well on the back of the jump start sensors. Speed Machine up next to Silverstone. Timozyanov was really good in Q1, but had a bit of a problem. So Timozyanov, what can he do this time? If that car's in full fettle, could we see him get a fantastic result like his teammate Weeman has? Let's have a look then at the grid for Q2 race 2. On the inside, Timmy Hansen. Next to him, Liam Doran. They lined up next to each other in the last race. Timozyanov, Matthias Ekstrom out in P4 and Kevin Hansen in P5. So I think all they've done is swapped Cyril Raymond out for Timozyanov compared to their lineup from race 1. Peugeot's on either side of the grid, and Audi sandwich around that Hyundai in the middle. 6th through 10th after the first session. Ekstrom. The Audi rings on that car were all black before the start of the last race, so that's had a bit of a jetting from the gravel. Even start across the grid. Ekstrom trying to pull away, but Doran's got the inside line on Timozyanov. Kevin Hansen slots in around the outside. His brother Timmy on the inside of Timmer. Oh, Ekstrom almost into the wall. Matthias Ekstrom backs out of it. Timmy Hansen are out the inside of Timozyanov. That is a tiny move by the two Peugeots to go from 5th to P2 and P3. Down the hill, full throttle now from Matthias Ekstrom. He's going to have to do something here. So does he go joker? He's going to go joker with Hansen. He is. So Timmy Hansen goes joker. Matthias Ekstrom has gone with him. Sideways out front, Liam Doran with that really early, hard entry into that corner.
Yeah, he really loves to send it into the bank here. Of course, that banking being supportive for him. If you didn't have that big advantage with the bank there, you may well have seen him in the wall. So really taking full use of that.
Up the hill for Doran on the brakes, nice and late. Kevin Hansen in behind him. Timozyanov with a tighter line. Having a look up the inside. I wonder if Timmer might go joker here if Kevin doesn't. But possibly too late to protect himself from behind. He does, and he has to brake and then get back on the gas, and that's cost him time too, Dan.
Of course, yeah. Following somebody like that and then wanting to dip into the joker lap is still the race line for the standard lap, so losing time there.
Look at the way everybody's doing the early rotations, early straight car. Liam, though, getting it right tight in on the barriers twice. Timozyanov, look, has managed to come out in front of both Hansen and Ekstrom, so he's done well at least to hold on to that position. I didn't think he would.
No, I didn't think he would either, but really great performance here from the I-20. Obviously, Weeman in the race before, and now Timozyanov as well.
Dan's having a look at the lap times. as I'm seeing on board Timmy Hansen down the hill. Here's the big bump, which they all say unsettles the car on the brakes. Wait patiently to get it to turn in. Into the Joker lap has gone Kevin Hansen. So Kevin trying to hold on to his position from Timazyanov. Coming around the outside in the Hyundai. Kevin stalls up slightly on the inside. This will be close. Timazyanov going to try and jump outside to inside. On the brakes, the Russians up the inside of Kevin. Oh, that's a hell of a move. Timazyanov all the way from the last corner to the first corner. Brilliant piece of driving by the Russian. He snatches a place off Kevin.
Fantastic stuff there from Timazyanov, really showing us what this Joker merge can do, and coming in with a lap time of 35.4, but Liam up in front with a 35.0, so Liam really on a charge.
So Liam needs to make sure he gets the Joker right. He lost 1.1 to Timmy Hansen on the lap times in here last time, but that looks like a good one to me. Liam Doran fires the Audi out, and he's miles in front over the jump. Checker flag falls for Doran. 2:26.0. He's 2 seconds quicker than Wieman. Doran leads this session, and in fact 2:26.0 would have been enough to see him right at the sharp end of Q1. So Liam Doran in the Audi with a fantastic time, but move of the day from Timazyanov, jumping outside to inside and then doing Kevin up the inside against the wall. Mega.
Awesome stuff. You know, it just shows the car control these guys have on such thick gravel as well. It's not like you're doing this on a tarmac circuit. The gravel can throw you anywhere.
Brilliant. Doran takes it, Timazyanov second, then it's Hansen, Ekstrom. And here's where they slot in, look. So Doran goes to the top of the table. Timazyanov and Kevin Hansen P4 and P5. Timmy in 7th. Matthias Ekstrom not inside the top 8 in this one, but he didn't get a great start there, so the world champion will fight back. We know that much. Great stuff. I mean, if you're sitting in the grandstand there, those guys are sitting right over the first corner. Just absolutely fantastic. We're going to take a look back at the action. So this was race 2 of Q2, and it was an absolute stonker. So Timazyanov, I wasn't sure. You can see the Hansens look, a P4 and P5 in theory, but Kevin's already trying to muscle his way through up into 3rd. Yeah, great stuff from them.
I mean, the Peugeots, neither of them able to get off the line, and of course, you've got like the likes of Timazyanov and the two Audis that will have the advantage of the information from their teammate in the race before about start line. So
that was Ekstrom getting a squeeze on the wall there from Timazyanov. So great stuff through turn 1. I have to say it was exciting racing through there. He tried to make a place up here. Hansen did better to get inside Timazyanov. Timazyanov, I thought, wouldn't hold on to his position when he Joker, but he did. But I think that's the next lap when we see that incredible... yeah, we're going to see it here. So watch Kevin now on the inside. Timazyanov knows he's lost it. Kevin goes defensive. He goes inside. He's super late on the brakes. And this is just... oh, it's just a fantastic, fantastic move. You'll have to have a look at it for social media later. That'll be online undoubtedly. But it was Doran who took it and is fastest so far in Q2.
Well, Liam, you were so close in Q1 to a win. Here you are, though, and with a very fast time indeed, sitting top at the moment. You've got to be happy with that. Yeah,
absolutely over the moon. Struggled a little bit so far this year with this new car, a new team, but inevitably it's got what it takes, the championship-winning car, this car itself. So, you know, I feel much more comfortable this weekend. The track suits me a lot more. It's great fun. It's great fun to drive, and yeah, I made a couple of mistakes, not by driving too hard, but actually, believe it or not, watching the playback, by driving too calmly in some of the tarmac corners. So didn't do that again this time. Pushed, stepped out a little bit a couple of times, but that's when you know you're on the limit. So this time the lap times are fast enough to hold the lead and not have to fight with anyone.
There we go. You could tell the track suits you as well. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Big smiles from Liam Doran. Absolutely fantastic result for him. Can he hold on and take a session win in the World Rallycross Championship? Let's have a look at the lineup then for Q2 race 3. Francois Duval on the inside. Next to him, Cyril Raymond. Oliver Bennett got a great start in the last one. Guillaume de Ridder and Yannis Boumanis. So 2 Belgians in here. Both the cars from the GCK Junior squad. A WRC legend in Francois Duval. It's a good lineup. There you are down at de Ridder's feet in the Clio. Clunks the car into gear, onto the handbrake. Marshals are leaving the grid. De Ridder needs a good result here. He's in P14. Slow reaction time, it looked to me, on the left-hand side of the grid. Down to turn 1, Raymond's inside Bennett. Boumanis gives Bennett a little nudge as well and gets inside in 2. So Boumanis is going to go up the inside again. That is fantastic from the Latvian. Just assertive driving, took positions.
Yeah, exactly. Not getting the best of launches, but taking advantage of that being on the outside. Is Cyril going
Cyril's going to go down to the Joker, so Cyril goes Joker, yeah, straight away, and Balmanis goes standard lap. Interesting for Cyril to go Joker from P2.
Yeah, so obviously he had pace on Balmanis coming down the hill and was on his outside, and when he's on his outside, he's not going to want to try and brake to cut back in. So,
Duval, De Ridder, contact between the two Belgians. No, don't bet them up in the wall at home. De Ridder just gets out in front of Francois Duval. So both those guys haven't Joker and Cyril Raymond in front of them, as Joker have managed to come out in front of them again. So from Cyril's point of view, that's worked out perfectly. I thought Joker and Early might end up back in traffic.
Yeah, of course, but obviously with these guys being, De Ridder looks like the inside of his teammate there too. Got to be careful not to take him out. But obviously with these guys coming off lap 1, everyone's really close together and everyone's really fighting. With Cyril dipping out and giving himself a couple corners free space, he can drive his own lines and try and perfect it, and that was what gave him that advantage.
Duval has jokered and ends up in P4 behind Oliver Bennett. So Duval now coming through, he'll be next up the hill, but up at the top of the hill is Cyril Raymond. Behind Balmanis, in front of his teammate De Ridder, but Raymond has jokered and Balmanis hasn't. There's only 1.1 seconds between them. And this lap then into the Joker goes De Ridder. So De Ridder goes Joker now, Balmanis on the outside. Has got Raymond up underneath him, he's closing him down. Can De Ridder get back out in front? This is a good move by Guillaume. Guillaume De Ridder's going to come out in front of Bennett and Duval. Nicely done. That's going to help his chance of getting up into the semi-finals, because Ollie Bennett was in front of him in P13. Duval was in P11, so good tactics from De Ridder. But this is about how quick Balmanis can be through the Joker. We know, Dan, that the margin between the two laps is not that much.
Yeah, not much at all, and you know, we can see only 1.1 seconds between these guys. Cyril's going to be carrying that bit more speed from the standard lap. Balmanis needs to come in, get the car stopped and drive himself out.
Here we go then, Balmanis on the inside. It was 1.1 between them as they came in. Balmanis has got the car straight. Raymond's going to carry the speed towards the line, but it is Balmanis who takes it. So Balmanis in front of Cyril Raymond by half a second. So managing, 6/10 would have been enough then for him to hold on. 2:27.1 is not enough. Duval pulls over to the side of the road.
Yeah, so Duval there is actually
not at the finish. Yeah,
he's in the Joker lap there, so problems there for the Skoda. Doesn't look like he's going to finish.
No, and a DNF is not ideal. Oh, he's going to try to get round, so the team probably on the radio saying get to the finish. You can see on the graphics at the minute Duval showing us a DNF, but he's crawling around the Joker lap trying to get to the finish. Ahead of him, Oliver Bennett, Guillaume De Ridder with good tactics to get in front of those guys who were just up in front of him. Balmanis and Raymond slotting in between Doran and Weeman. So great job by them, and I wonder, you know, is the track just getting that little bit quicker? Francois Duval is going to cross the line. There he goes. Checkered flag. So at least he doesn't get a DNF down, and that's much better from his standings point of view.
Yeah, of course, you know, anything can happen in this last race, and there might, you know, obviously we don't want to see it, but there could potentially be a retirement, and with him getting around to the finish, it then puts him a place up in front of that person.
On board with De Ridder off the start. I thought De Ridder was a little bit slow off the start. It looked like reaction time, but it's hard to tell, obviously, from outside the car if there's something else going on.
Yeah, of course. We just didn't see the nose of his car lift as fast as everyone else's, but managing to keep himself out of trouble is the main thing.
Yeah, and good tactics, I say, mid-race to get out in front again. I thought potentially when he hadn't choked and the other guys had, I wondered if he was going to get himself stuck down in P5. That was the contact between him and Duval, and that was a tidy bit of driving as well. They're nice and aggressive to stay in front of the WRC legend.
Yeah, of course, and especially with Duval underneath him, he had to go around the outside, so big commitment there.
Yeah, very tidily done, and there isn't a lot of runoff on the outside there, I can promise you. Concrete wall comes up very fast indeed. So Raymond and De Ridder up through the hairpin at the top of the hill. This was Balmanis with Raymond chasing him, and Balmanis had 1.1 as he went into the last lap, but it was plenty. When he came out of the Joker, he was nicely in front. So Balmanis taking it from Cyril Raymond, and those two guys going P2 and P3 overall. Cars heading back towards the paddock. Duval being forklifted onto a truck. Didn't see anything. I mean, obviously the front headlight cover is missing, so perhaps he's clipped something, a broken transmission or something.
Also, of course, contact with De Ridder is there as well, as they came into the first corner there as well. So
yeah, tricky.
a great race, really strong tactically there from you, Yannis. How is the track? How is it evolving throughout the day? We've seen rain, we now have sunshine. How's it riding for you?
Yeah, the track is changing quite a lot and quite quickly. If you see how it was on the free practice too, it was almost like autocross, but I think it's organizers have done a really good job how they make the track, and it's really interesting to drive in. Of course, it's more challenging for the drivers right now, but yeah, it's about the luck and how the weather it is. So I was lucky this time, I think P2 so far. So I'm pleased with that, yeah.
Yeah, you are P2 behind Liam Doran. Moving ahead to tomorrow, what's the game plan?
Maximum attack easy, so nothing clear yet which I'm positioned after 2 qualification runs, but I think I did quite a good job now on drying tracks, so we'll see what weather will be, because it promised that today will be full rain, but actually it's half day was raining and other one is sunny, so we'll see, I don't know.
Thank you very much, well done.
Plan is easy, maximum attack. That is my kind of plan.
That's Rallycross for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why, yeah, not like, oh, yeah, we'll see if the track develops, if it's dry, whatever. It's like, yeah, the plan's maximum attack. Yes, good.
No saving tyres, no saving fuel.
None of that. Just send it. Good. Enzo Eid, another Belgian driver, joining the World Rallycross Championship this weekend in another EKS run machine. 5 cars this weekend. That's the most cars they've ever had at a Rallycross event. So great to see Matthias Ekstrom's team continuing to go strong. Last race then of Q2. Here we go. Pool 3 on the inside. Grégoire de Moustier for Belgium next to him. Schiescher in the middle of the grid will want to get a decent result, being 18th after Q1. Herf Napik and Enzo Eid. So Schiescher simply has to get this hooked up, because with respect to the others, I think he's the pace man of this pack. Certainly the more experienced than Enzo Eid and Paltry. So he needs to get the whole shot down, and that's easier said than done.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everybody has, all of these cars have the potential to be the first into the first corner, so he's got to be making sure he's got his RPM settings correct.
So what can Schiescher do from the middle of the grid? Paul 3 makes it easy for him with a double joker for a penalty jump start. So he's going to have to reverse that one back. Of course, it doesn't help Schiescher. Paul 3 might still beat him into turn 1 and then have to take the 2 jokers. He'd be out of the way sooner, but, you know, say... I know, when you know you've got to get a good start, that's not ideal in your head, is it?
No, not at all. And, well, especially now for all of these guys, they have to recoup. They had that adrenaline high when the ready to race light came on and they were ready to go. And then having that jump start, you've then got to, you know, turn all the anti-lag system and everything off and sit there and try and calm yourself down again. You know, you can see Schiescher there with the door open. You know, it gets really hot inside these cars. He's going to be just trying to recoup and then, you know, try and zone himself then back in to his start procedure.
The sun is very much out on this track now. You can see shadows down there, and I say it's not dry, but there are sections of it which are drying quickly. Balmanis said he felt the track was developing. There's certainly still pace in it, so Schiescher is the guy who could capitalise on that increased pace of the track. Doran is your current leader. Right, here we go then. Thumbs up across the grid, take 2 on the start. So maybe Paul 3 will be a bit more nervous about this one. Great start, Schiescher in the middle of the grid. He's got to find the grip as well, he does. So good at Schiescher down to turn 1. Paul 3 on the inside to Moustier. Enzo Eid tries to come around the outside. Eid's going to have a look up the inside now, is he? Of Napik, he can't find a way through. So Eid drops down to P5. Paul 3 is late on the brakes, nearly collects Schiescher. De Moustier collects 3. Schiescher gets run wide, and all the good work's undone up at turn 2.
No, so gutted for Schiescher there, managing to get, you know, hook the start up. Got a much better start than his teammate Markland in an earlier race, and just getting pushed really wide there in we see, sorry, Paul 3, I've just seen he's on the joker already.
So he's got a joker, of course he's got 2 to do, and Schiescher actually gets out in front of him. So Gilles Schiescher has done the right thing twice. He's got a great start. Now he's done a brilliant lap around the outside and has got himself out in front of Paul 3. He's got to get the hammer down. So at the minute he's P18. He needs a good result in this session, Dan.
Yeah, so obviously with Balmanis saying that he feels the track's developing, Schiescher really needs to capitalise here and do the best he can, put in those solid laps and potentially joke on the last lap.
First time we've seen shadows, isn't it, really, today? It's been very grey and overcast. It even goes as far as to say cold. But, you know, how quickly can the track change?
Yeah, it can change so fast, and, you know, that's the beauty of Rallycross as well with gravel. Every single lap these guys come around, it's a different track because you've got five cars all going over that.
Demoustier reversing back into the grid there, Dan. So Demoustier in the background was reversing into the grid, so he's out. But yeah, so Shishire's got to read the lap every time, get it right. It's hard.
It's very hard. You've got to try and predict what the car is going to do in a rut before it even gets there.
And we've seen a few people fall foul of that in both RX2 and World RX, particularly down on the inside line on the Joker lap. Shishiri around the outside. Shishiri's run a little bit wide there, but he gets the car straight again on the exit. How are the lap times looking?
Sounded like the car bogged there for Shishiri, but he just crossed the line then, 45.9. His lap before was a 45.5, so that's half a second a lap off of Liam's best lap time there, but fairly comparable to everybody else.
2:26.032 is the time of Liam Doran. I think he'd be going well to challenge that after losing a place again on the first lap. Into the Joker goes Shishiri. Clock ticking down the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Get that car rotated around, straight and on the gas again. Not going to beat the time of Liam Doran. Up and over the jump for the Frenchman, the team owner. 2:28.7. So not a bad time, to be fair. It's going to put him a fair way up the leaderboard. Napick coming around to the finish as well. Yeah, he's going to put. He's going to go inside the. He's going to go 6th or 7th, I think. Looking at our timing screens very quickly. So Shishiri doing a good job there, and that will, I say, drag him right up. He was 18th after Q1, so that was, of course, when he got pushed around on the exit of the hairpin up at the top. So he's not having a great time up at the hairpin, Galan Shishiri. But he did have a great run in that. Got a good start, and then after a little issue up at the top of the hill, could have gone a bit quicker, definitely. So that's promising for tomorrow. Paul 3 with a nice 2nd place. Enzo Eid gets 3rd, Herve Napick 4th. Demoustier at DNF, the Peugeot reversing back to the pre-grid. And Shishiri does indeed go into P7. But it's Liam Doran who wins the session. First qualifying session and a win for Liam. Both the qualifying sessions today have been won by Monster Energy RX Cartel. It's 1 to Bakkerud and 1 to Doran. After, of course, Ekstrom's been testing this week. These cars have all got new dampers on. Suddenly, they seem to have found the pace. Could it be their weekend? Well, Demoustier has parked it. We're going to take a look back at this one. So talk us through that start, Dan.
So yeah, Shishiri there just getting the RPM perfect and getting the drive away. And, you know, he's got Portree right there with him, but he was obviously thinking now come up to the top corner, he was in the clear. Portree and Demoustier both locking up on the brakes. Demoustier pushing Portree into Shishiri there, and just, well, really not going Shishiri's way.
No, he's really unlucky. And, of course, he straightened the lock-up, hadn't he, already, Shishiri? So that because the nose of the car was facing down the hill, then you get pushed wide and the steering's not facing where you wanted it to be.
Yeah, so he's already got his rotation in that he wants, but then it gets completely knocked out, and you've got to then recoup and try and get yourself turned back in again.
Yeah, not ideal for Galan, but he still manages to take it. And a P7 will see him climb the standings. Of course, he wants a P12 by the end of Q4 tomorrow. See the cars rolling back past Spotters Tower. We've got another session of RX2 to go. Super 1600s, of course, got another session as well today. But meanwhile, Galan is with Laura.
Galan, P18 after Q1, a very difficult morning. Things have turned around though. I think P6, P7 for now.
Yeah, it's tough to start the race like this, like with the problem I had on the Q1. But now I guess I still have to keep fighting and try to come back on the top 12. But yeah, I think we can do it. The car is quite fast here, so just need to get the confidence back, and we're gonna make it.
Thank you. Well done.
Great job there by Shishiri. Say unlucky. I mean, he must have lost a second up at the top. Potentially again, he had another issue. Didn't he? Ran a little bit wide. So they're looking on the pace, both him and Markland, but both sessions have gone to RX Cartel. Funnily enough, they're flying, and yet Matthias Ekstrom isn't quite where he wants to be.
Yeah, of course, but obviously the RX Cartel boys are in a more up-to-date car. We know Matthias has done a lot of updates on his older car, but yeah, really interesting to see both Andreas and Liam. We heard Liam saying this track really suits him, and I know he's been struggling with that car so far, so really good to see him back in the groove, and Andreas as well, trying to pull himself back up from that disaster of round 1 for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job by RX Cartel here so far this weekend. We can take a look at the standings after Q2. Let's see who's inside the all-important top 12. Liam Doran is at the top of the table, so it's overnight TQ for Liam Doran with his teammate Andreas Bakkerud, P2, and Jonny Weeman, who is here on a one-off. His second outing, I think he said, in 2.5 years, is currently in P3. Scheider 4th, Sabo 5th, Baumanis 6th, Cyril Raymond is up in 7th, Timazyanov is in 8th. Where are the Hansons? Well, Markland's 9th, Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen are in 10th and 11th. Our first 2 event winners, 10th and 11th. And right behind them is the 2016 FIA World Rallycross champion. Can't wait to see those guys fight back. It will be dry tomorrow, and we'll see what's going to happen. Shisharit, look, up from 18th to 13th. De Ridder is in 14th. Duval drops down to 16th. So De Ridder just outside the top 12. Those, him and Shisharit, of course, team boss, team owner Shisharit and De Ridder in the academy team will really want to be inside the top 12. Could it cost one of the Hansons or Ekstrom a position? So, really important where the Hansons finish in the morning, and Ekstrom too. I think we all want to see them in the semi-finals. I want to see a bit of a fight going on. Dan, we've got our randomizer to see if the grids are going to go first or last. I'm not even sure what race they're going to be in, but we've seen the track develop here. This could be pretty critical. Yeah, exactly, and we're coming in the morning. We don't know what the weather's going to do. It's forecast for dry, but we're in Spa, so it could be anything. Okay, welcome to Belgium. Here we go, let's take a look then, whether or not the grids are going to go the standard way or reversed. So if it stops on F for fast, then it's fastest first. If it stops on S for slow, then it is slowest first, which of course is the traditional way to do it. Here we go, I think it's going to be slowest first. It is indeed, so slowest first tomorrow, so the fastest guys are going to go last. But again, Dan, we still don't really know what that means. And say if it's dry, the track might clean. It might be better to go last. But if it's wet, if it ruts up, we don't know. Exactly. It's such an unknown, and that's what everybody's going to be thinking in the paddock. Everyone's going to be a bit on edge to see what's going to happen. Fantastic. Right, well, another great session here. Liam Doran, the overnight TQ. Well done, Liam. British bomb at the top of the table from his teammate Andreas Bakkerud and Jonny Weeman as well. So a completely different top 3 than we've been seeing so far. Both the RX Cartel guys up there, both the Hansons right down at the bottom end of the top 12. So all to play for tomorrow, but we've still got another session of RX2 to come. So we're going to take a brief break, but stay with us. Q2 of RX2 coming up soon.